thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one?
We got twins! Twins!
Alright, Twisters, the highly anticipated sequel from the 90s movie. This came out in mid-July, production by WB and Universal. Combo tag team alongside Amblin, the Spielberg studio. This was directed by Lee Isaac Chung. Screenplay was by Mark Smith. Music by Ben Wallfish. And its budget, just a peak over $150 million. Mark, we both saw the first Twister before we went and saw Twisters. Briefly, if you can recall, what did you think about the first Twister movie from the 90s?
First, I just want to compliment you on the information segment. I think that was well done. It's almost like you done. But anyway, Twister. Steven Spielberg owes Twister is that's a name from The Simpsons, by the way. But that was a fun movie. I've seen it for the first time like a week, or 3 days before we went to go see Twister.
Yes.
No, a day. Fuck. But like that was a surprisingly fun movie. It's just like a thriller. It's a monster. Like it's almost like a monster kaiju thriller in a way.
The way that they treat the weather.
They kind of personify the tornado.
Yes.
And it's like a growling giant Tasmanian devil.
Absolutely.
And I like how you showed me like they had like a weird Tasmanian devil clip in the beginning.
Before.
Do you think that aired in the theaters before, or just the video?
That was video, I believe.
I wish they did that for like Twisters. Just like have like the new HBO Max Looney Tunes animation with that.
That's animation though, Mark.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know how Zaslav likes animation.
Did you say cartoons, John?
Yeah.
By the way, you heard the news that fucking Warner Brothers is like, it's getting cooked right now.
Yeah, it's not good. Again,
I hope it just like gets. No, I hope like the Empire, like Zaslav is like just making it fail. I don't want Warner Brothers to succeed under him.
I don't wish for failure in any situation, but it's like because look, I talked about this earlier in the year. Warner Brothers has had the most dynamic films outside of Deadpool 3. They have had the most movie-going movies of the year theatrically so far. Again, they had
last year's big-ass example. Fucking Pink everywhere.
What?
Last year was a big-ass example. Fucking Pink everywhere.
Yes.
Barbie!
Yeah, no, we know what you meant by Pink everywhere. But I was talking about 2024, and you brought up last year.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Recency in general, yeah.
In a year where it's been very kind of mid in terms of movies overall, you had God, why is it Dune? Sorry, talking about this year, you had Dune 2, which was again sci-fi, super theatrical, super high budget, super high quality. You had Furiosa this year as well. You've had, and Twisters gets included in that too. They've been knocking out of the park with these desert sci-fis. And then even the what desert sci-fi? Oh my god!
Yeah, desert sci. Both great movies were desert sci-fis.
All right,
sci-fis.
Just talking about Furiosa and
Dune.
Dune.
Yeah.
But I including Twisters and including Godzilla Kong, as well. So again, you talk about those four movies. Those four movies really have been those theatrical juggernauts. They haven't all made a ton of money, but when you think about going to the theater and the quality of the experience, those are four movies that I think outside of any other studio, Warner Brothers has done the best job in making movies that actually are meant to be theatrical.
I love the IPs Warner Brothers holds, and I love the content they ship out. But I hate David Zaslav guts, and I only want Warner Bros. To fail just so they can fail. I only want Warner Bros. To fail just so I can watch David Zaslav fail.
I just don't need any more mergers because again, we're already down. We had this time a decade ago. Well, now 15 years ago, we had way more competition when you considered in the animation space or in the world destruct, like even in destruction movies, like if Twisters came out a couple weeks later, there'd be a destruction movie right around the corner. If you remember 10 years ago, you had White House Down and whatever that, Olympus Has Fallen, right? Like movies used to be very competitive because you used to have a lot more studios that could compete in the space. Everything's getting consolidated, everything's getting merged, and the more that things fail, the more of a chance that we lose that purpose of going to the theater to see these creative ideas. So if Warner Brothers fails, we likely lose the identity of some of these movies and the styles that we've seen from Warner Brothers, which, again, as bad as the management has been, I would hate to see them falter. And Warner Brothers has had this issue.
I feel like they're constantly making bad decisions anyway, so I feel like good ideas are starting to fade away anyway. Like, they keep changing a lot of things.
But I mean, we could say that for all studios. I mean,
yeah,
Sony,
so like
Sony, Disney. But again, that's because of the consolidation. So if you ask a studio to fail, that's more consolidation, and we fall into the same loop again. And it doesn't get better; it gets worse. So
it's either consolidation or just less cool shit because they're trying to cut.
Yes, but that usually is because of consolidation. So, you know,
it's bad either way. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, because I mean, if you're a studio if you're only one of 4 studios and you're betting on a big blockbuster release and it loses money, that's still an impact on you.
Or like you make no bets and you shelf finished projects that seem like good ideas.
Agreed, and that's
like
a critical. Again, I think if this was 10 years ago, both Warner Brothers movies would have been theatrical releases, and 10, 15 years ago, I mean. This would have been a much more lucrative timeline where you would have had Fox with Blue Sky coming out with content. You would have had Warner Brothers coming out with at least something though they had 2 ready to go animated features, they would have put those in theaters, at least one of them. Disney had Walt Disney animated features and Pixar, and we had 2 in 1 year. I mean, this year we will have 2 in 1 year, but one of them is a rushed project, the other one is a sequel.
For context for the audience, an enemy of Looney Tunes is an enemy of minds, folks. That's why I hate David Zaslav.
Yes, but an enemy of Warner Brothers failing is an enemy of Looney Tunes. So there's no winning on that front.
I mean, they're failing either if they get bought or not. It's just there's just no saving it right now, unless the people that buys them makes good decisions. So we don't know.
Well, the person who buys them will continue to cut until it becomes profitable. And the problem is, there's been little minor profitable moments here and there from what Zaslav has been doing, but Warner Brothers doesn't have what Disney does, which is Disney can say, oh, our movies aren't doing good, well, we have the parks, and we have this, and we have that. Like, they have resources.
All they got is that studio tour, which is good. You and me still need to go on that studio tour. I recommend
that's what is that? What I'm 20 shekels, dude. That's not going to do shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they don't have anything. So
it's fun time though. It's still yes, on the.
I don't even know why you wanted to break. I'm not saying amusement. I'm saying for billions of dollars in profit.
I'm just making new vacation.
You just brought in
I'm making new vacation plans on the podcast, all right?
You may have wanted a $5 ride that has nothing to do with the... Anyway.
It's actually like $50 if you want the normal ride, $150 if you want the VIP. I think it's like $300 if you want the super mega VIP.
Yeah, you get to touch Zaslav.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Now, just for context, by the way, when we're talking about the past, when... it's interesting because... Warner Brothers, when the first Twister came out, completely different energy, because they were just about to buy and they were about to acquire Turner Broadcasting, which would have them hold on to Cartoon Network. They had just launched the WB Network, which had Kids WB as well. They were about to release Space Jam, and they had already proven success with things like the Batman animated series, the Tiny Toon Adventures, and the Animaniacs on Fox Kids. And their previous properties were doing fairly well. The Batman had made a resurgence in recent years. The difference between now and then is staggering. For Warner Brothers in the first Twister release and this Twister release. I'm a huge Twister fan. That was a movie that I watched a billion times when I was a kid. It got me more interested in weather, and it got me more fascinated in sort of just the idea of weather systems. I get spooked anytime there's a thunderstorm, but I'm fascinated at radar, I'm fascinated at weather, and this movie is partly to blame for that. I love the fun ragtag team that we follow in the first Twister movie. They have so much personality, they have so much style, it's so much fun to follow them.
This movie probably scared shit out of me as a little kid, because like I just fear natural disasters. Like I was protesting against like not watching that fucking 2012 movie back when I was a kid. It was like, no, it's not real. It's not real. It's not gonna happen. I want to see it. I want to see the trailer. Man, stop. Shut up.
That's funny. That's awesome. I will say, like, a lot of people got spooked about... The only thing that was technically real, or could be real, was the supervolcano sequence. The Yosemite or whatever sequence where the whole thing blows up. Other than that... like,
are you talking about 2012?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the meme where it's like, I'm going to show my kids the movie 2012 and tell them I survived this.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. But, yeah, man, like, Twister as a movie... again, I love the crew. I love the way that it feels like a classic. Like, this is like, it became a classic. Feels like a movie that's just shot in an era that we are no longer in. You get some great sequences in that movie. You get some great helicopter shots, great perspective shots. I love so much about that movie. I love the score, and you know, that's the one thing about Twisters is I'm actually surprised, like just little things in terms of relating Twister to Twisters. I'm surprised that the score was not used because it's such a triumphant score. And you had it's a great soundtrack that the new movie has. It's solid, but the score that they have that underlays a lot of the movie is very generic. There's nothing unique about it. It's very forgettable.
Well, like,
it fades to the background.
Well, props to this movie really trying to be its own thing, because a lot of reboots or revivals just like we have to reference the old one as much as possible. So like, hey, let's get some old references in. Let's get some of the old cast in. It takes place in the same world, so that's the main, those characters. They're related. That's their babies from the other movies.
Right.
And it's like no relation to anybody. No mention to anything that happened. It's like we don't even know it's the same dimension or universe.
It is.
It is.
In the very beginning, we see Dorothy.
Huh.
They say that it's old tech, but Dorothy from like the machine that they used in the 90s movie to take data samples. That's in the very beginning.
I missed that part, so I just assumed that was like their version. That was just their version.
But what they treat it as in this movie is they treat it like old tech, which I do like. I like the idea that, again, like the 90s movie, it was born at a time when there was knowledge of tornadoes, but it wasn't as scientifically built as obviously now. And it feels like with Twisters, we get a great look at how science has evolved and how people have been impacted and how the world has been.
Well, this movie's also more like scientifically accurate because they actually like
that's what I mean.
do more.
That's what I said.
Tornado stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You just said the same thing I said, but in different words. Squidward.
Nah, I said.
You just plagiarized my words.
No. That's what you think.
So,
okay. So there was a connection, but it wasn't in your face. Like fucking Ghostbusters. New Ghostbusters had to do that shit. And
oh my god! I mean, that's night and day. So there's Independence Day Resurgence. Like
I skipped that one. I watched Suicide Squad.
I feel you, but to me, it's like, all right. There's Independence Day Resurgence. There's Ghostbusters, right? And both of those do it wrong. But Independence.
By the way, I'm talking about Afterlife, not 2016.
I think Afterlife does it well. What?
It does that
you
too.
Didn't like Afterlife? Oh, Afterlife. Wait. No, that was Frozen Empire that came out this year. Which it's funny that came out this year because I totally forgot about that movie.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Afterlife because it also tries to be
It's a legacy sequel.
Yeah, legacy sequel. Because this one also tries to be like a.
I feel like it's
legacy sort of thing, but it's like, oh, we're not trying to connect it too much. This is our own thing still.
Yeah, it's like this movie and Ghostbusters Afterlife are pretty close, like you said. Now I'm plagiarizing you. But they're pretty close in the way that they handle things. until Ghostbusters Afterlife does the thing where they bring back all the old people in the end. This movie does not do that. There's no Avengers moment where you see all the old people from Twister come back in. By the way, like half the team that was there is dead in real life, so there's no way that's happening.
There should have been a part in the movie where, like, on your left, and all the old cast comes surfing in on a tornado, inside a tornado, and, like, starts helping the main character.
Yeah. There are moments in this movie where they do clearly pay a lot of homage, or they just straight up have lines that are identical. They follow very similarly, it seems, too. Like, again, you have a day of chasing, and then there's the, alright, we're going to go to a nightly thing. Last time it was a drive-in, and this time it was a bull riding thing, which felt more natural, but both of them were things to do. And then a tornado happens at both of them, and then the next day, now I was expecting that a tornado was going to hit the mom's house, or the mom's barn, and thankfully that didn't happen. They didn't copy it one for one, but there was a community that did get impacted by a tornado. I will say that I think that because the first Twister is a thriller and I have more nostalgia for it, I like it more than this movie, but I think that the additional science nature, like it's deep science, it's more deeply tied into science, like we've been talking about, and because of that, there's a little bit of fun factor that's lost. Because they're trying to be accurate instead of fun in certain moments. And because of that, it becomes like, well, in reality, and it's like, I mean, do we...
And because of the climax, it's kind of underwhelming as well.
Yeah. So, we have, let's talk about Twisters, like Twisters specifically. We were, but we have, like, okay, so, I like how they give us her backstory, they give us her idea of how she becomes sort of sheltered in New York, basically. Something traumatic happens in her home, so she goes and she studies and she becomes successful. She continues and finishes, or I think she's close to finishing whatever graduate thing she is, and she moves to New York. Basically, as far away from tornadoes as she can be without being there. And you know, you have that sequence, and it's a good sequence. I think I think for a new generation, they're gonna love it. For this current gen that hasn't seen Twister, they're gonna love it. But it took a while, and I was like, okay, like, yeah, all right, yeah, we're going, because we know they're probably gonna all get sucked out. I was like, I forgot that the one guy that actually lives, that owns the company, lives. I was like, yeah, but they're gonna all die probably because this is the beginning.
It's not like against the movie, but like it's just like something I wish I needed more assholes that get killed. Because like the last movie had a very satisfying kill of like the main asshole, just like, but like, hey, don't go into that tornado! Fuck you! I'm going inside that tornado!
Yeah, I will.
So we only get like the one like minor character asshole, and it's like, fuck you in this hotel! I'm driving away! And that's it. That's the only asshole that gets to die satisfyingly. Yeah,
because you have the guy that's really corporate, and he doesn't die, but he gets left behind on a road that a Twister's going on, and you could imply that he dies, but we don't see him die.
Oh, he just surfs that shit. He's alive and
he's clearly alive. Yeah. I think this movie, though, like, as much as they want to follow her, and she is the thread of this movie, the fun of this movie clearly is once we get the personality and stylings of the Tornado Wrangler. You know, that's when it, you know, like, this movie, it's fine for the first, like, but it's going the route of a traditional generic disaster movie, like, for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then you get the style and profile of this guy and the team, and it's like, and his team, and it's like, they are cool, they've got personality, and like, every time, when I saw this movie twice, I'm like, why the fuck are we not following them? I know that's identical to the first Twister, but man, like, they just have the personality.
Well, like, the first 10 minutes, it kind of makes you think, if you saw the first Twister, it makes you think it's going to follow the same structure, because when I saw these guys, I was like, oh, these are the guys that are going to die later. We're not going to follow them. Because they're meant to be the villains. But it's like, oh no.
It's about the techie before the techie, because in the first 10 minutes we see the backstory. We're getting the. You know how I know that this was fucked? Because the first 10 minutes have a Toyota, and this was clearly sponsored by Dodge.
Yeah, you know your cars. I don't.
like they had a Toyota in the beginning, and there's no fucking way that Toyota was making it out because it's a Dodge movie. It's a Dodge Ram truck movie. So, like, you know, I'm sure Dodge is making a ton of money right now. You know, because that definitely made me want to. That made me want to buy a fucking truck. Spent $50,000 on a goddamn truck because everything looked cool.
You want to buy one now?
Fuck no. But you know,
can you buy me one?
No, fuck no. But yeah, like when you're at that gas station, you get all the personality of the team. You're like, man, like I'd love to spend more time with them. But we're building into this movie that is, she knows her stuff, and we have the Torcon team, or whatever the fuck, whatever that name is.
Torque team.
But the corporate company. The corporate company that chases tornadoes. And it's cool, but again, like, the movie even has to then bring them into the focus. Where it's like, we see them wrangling tornadoes. Like, they gutsily go in, and they've got the anchors, and they put the anchors in. And that's a fun-ass part of the movie, man. Those are, each time they do it, it's a fun-ass part of the movie. And,
oh, yeah.
You know,
I like how they show up and putting fireworks inside, which, I, like... So they do this for their YouTube. I imagine, like, it has to get old, like, for some viewers it has to get old fast, because, like, do every tornado they just, like, drive into and shoot fireworks, and it's like, is that what they do all the time? Do they have any other tricks?
So no, I think they said they hadn't done that before. They hadn't done that before. Either way, it's like that was either new or that was something, because they were like, we're gonna shoot firework in the tornado.
Alright, so it's pretty much Jackass, but with tornadoes.
Yes. And again, I like the YouTube angle. It feels real. Like, it feels like that's genuinely something. Sadly, I think what's scary is, and I'm sure that the creators of this movie realize this, there's going to be assholes that do this after this. Because the one thing about the first Twister movie is it inspired and incited a ton of new tornado watchers. In fact, all those random fucking tornado watchers that they make jokes about in this movie, a lot of them got inspired because of the first Twister movie to go out and see a tornado, or chase a tornado, or follow it. And I feel like there's going to be a bunch of fucking idiots that are going to be like, we could do it too, yeehaw, anchors, choo! And like they used fucking little fucking baby anchors, and the fucking shit's going to pull them up and out. But that's not on the twist, that's not on this movie, that's just on idiots.
Again, you gotta surf that shit. I'm gonna run inside a tornado with a surfboard and be like, whoa!
There you go. Now you've got the right idea. I think the CGI, interestingly enough, like, for most of it, like, it's beautiful. I think it looks very accurate. There's only a single moment where I saw, like, oh, that looks fake, and that was the oil, not oil, but the oil refinery, where it blows up and it's a fiery tornado. Like, I feel like that's the only time when it looked CGI, and then the final F5, the big tornado at the very end of the movie, looked very CGI.
It did, but I guess I can pass on it. Because it's the same way I see like every modern day movie with like CGI effects. It's like I know it's CGI and like it doesn't look realistic, but like it just sort of, I don't know. I guess like I see modern movies are different because like the CGI is more clean than like older movies.
Yes.
So it's like. I guess it blends in well. Either I'm just too used to modern movies when honestly, like I see like all the superhero movies, so it's like I guess I'm just.
It looks better than any Marvel CGI sequence in the past 10 years. I'll say that much. Obviously different things, but I mean all the particles and stuff that have to go into making a tornado look real, that takes a lot of effort. I will say though, again, the first Twister movie, we saw that a couple days earlier, or a day earlier, it still holds up pretty well. There's a couple tornadoes that look very fake, notably the water twisters, they look very fake, but the big F5 at the end of the first Twister, that still looks very fucking real. Like, that looks believable. The tornado at the beginning of the movie with the yellow Jeep that gets thrown up and then dropped back down in front of the wife.
Yeah.
That looks real. Like, it's just impressive how good graphically and video effects wise the first Twister still holds up.
It's the tornadoes that they focused on, like the little things around it, like the CG boat and stuff, and it's just stuff that hasn't aged well. Again, tornadoes has aged phenomenally.
Tornadoes have aged well, but like you said, that like you were talking about this before, when they extended on that boat shot too long, that's when it all lost. It's gotta be like quick, blurry, quick. Get out of the way. Yeah. the final sequence of Twisters,
which is like there's my problem because I was like because like I love the climax of the first Twisters because it escalates to like ridiculousness and it's like it's just a fun. It wasn't. I guess it was like it felt like it was trying to be realistic earlier, but then like near the end of the movie they just said fuck it and let's just like have a scene where we just like drive through a bunch of shit. They're just like running from the tornado into like barns and stuff, and it's just like a really fun like climax sequence.
Well, the thing
and then you get like the awe moment of like when they're inside the tornado and looking up like, and you can tell like the characters are thinking, "Ooh, so this is what the inside of a tornado looks like." Ooh,
it's a triumphant moment, and it all. I think the great thing about the first Twister movie is it builds itself. Like this is the get back moment. This is the moment for these characters that have dealt something traumatic, because it all starts with the destruction of Wakita, and the aunt or the mom or whoever it is, the aunt, I think it's an aunt, the aunt of the ex of the main character from the first Twister movie, her house gets destroyed, they save her, and then it's like, alright.
The doggy lives!
But it's like, we just need to get this fucking, let's just do it, basically. You know what I mean? And it's like, from that point forward, it's, alright, we're gonna find a way to do this. They find those cans, those soda cans, all that. They cut holes, they do all that, and it's like, all right, this is it. And like the movie is strategically making every moment from that destruction build and build and build, and it's like, all right, they're chasing it, they're going after it. The antagonistic team dies, and now you have our two main characters in a vulnerable position. And we see that whole chase sequence with the monster movie. The monster's coming after him. And it's a great thing. And it just ends after that. There's no airport scene after. It just ends. The movie ends. Once the tornado's done, like, you get a little romantic moment between the two of them because they're rekindled. But it's done. And I love how that movie ends.
I like how the writers are also, like, just how in your face they are about, like, the tornado being like a slasher horror flick, because it's like, yeah, this is like this doesn't feel like a natural disaster. It just feels like a slasher horror. And then in the middle of the movie, we're like, they just play The Shining,
yes,
back and forth, and it's like, and it's just the writer saying, yeah, we know. this is what we're going. This is exactly what we're going for. And it's like, okay, they're just like rubbing it in your face, like, yeah, we're self-aware. We know what we're doing. We're not trying to be realistic. This is it. This is what the movie is.
Which is why when Twisters tries to do the same thing and you have the Frankenstein moment, it just does not come off in the same way, because they blew their load in the... Like, there was a moment where it's like, you have the corporate team and they get stuck and the tornado comes around them and they don't die. Okay. Then the oil field thing explodes. And you have the tornado and it grows and grows and grows. Okay. And the corporate team is able to escape. All right. And now they're going to save the town. Okay. And it just kind of, it's like, it all just, they were trying to save the town, but the town didn't get destroyed, which I think it's a good thing. Yes. It's a good thing, but like, you didn't get to see the tornado in act. You just saw it far away. And by the way, it was, at that point, it was still too far away to actually do that much damage. That was the funny thing, is they kept cutting back to it, and it, like, they kept showing, like, oh, the water tower's falling and all this shit, but the tornado's, like, it looks like it's, like, a mile or two away. Like, it's, like, you guys know that, like, it wouldn't be this severe, like, the tornado would have to be, like, in the town to do all this shit. But, like, they kept showing it, like, far, far away, you know what I mean? Like, they kept showing it so far back. And it's like, I think they should have brought it closer. Alright, we gotta bring this, make it wide, like, bring it a little closer. That's just a part of, like, how it looks on screen, but, yeah, it was just like, it's fine, but, like, yeah, like, it was weird, because there was no, they made it more of a, alright, let's kill this tornado, and, like, because there was no safe place for the town to go to, and it was an old building, it's like, I didn't feel any real stress in that situation, because you know that she's probably gonna live.
I felt that at least the ending was relatable because we were watching the movie in 4DX, and at the end of the movie, the main characters were also watching the movie in 4DX.
Yeah.
But they had like more powerful seats and shit. They were being sucked into the movie.
It was literally they
were watching Twisters.
Yeah. So like it was fine, but like I think this it's good. I think again like they didn't want to do apparently they also didn't want to do a romance thing at the end, which I mean guys, like that was clear. It's kind of obvious. I don't know why they didn't just do it, but whatever. You didn't need it necessarily. It was more about her personal growth or whatever. I like how she has trauma and she's trying to get through that in quite a difficult situation. So you have the moment where you're in the wind field, the wind farm with the wind turbines, and she leaves, and I like that. I like that moment because it's like, yeah, she's clearly having a traumatic reaction to it. I just, like, again, like, this movie is solid. Like, it's definitely another Twister movie.
It's fun time. I think,
it's a fun time.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see, here's what I would love to see. In a couple years, if this didn't make enough money, by the way, because, I mean, Deadpool came out. Like, they put it right next to Deadpool.
I know.
Stupid movie.
I think this movie should be experienced in 4DX. I think this movie got put back in 4DX after the first weekend in Deadpool.
It did.
Because, like, it's like, what really helped this movie was, like, that 4DX experience was really fun.
Yes.
How was your second time seeing the movie without the
standard? It was good. It was still like you're still watching a great special effects movie. I would say it's as good as it's not clearly as good as something like 4DX, but like we talked about before, 4DX helps in a lot of situations.
Oh yeah, that enhancement really like does a lot for the movie.
Yes. So
for it does a lot for a lot of movies, but like it does a lot for a movie like this.
Yes.
What should have happened at the end of the movie was like somebody like when they were being sucked into like the wall where the screen was. Somebody should have went to the projection room and just like pressed the pause button. Like, wait a second, I can control the movie.
Jesus Christ! Enhance your 4DX now.
Yeah. No. There's a Mickey Mouse short called "Get a Horse" and like where Mickey Mouse. It's a cartoon and then Mickey Mouse falls out of the cartoon into the theater. And, like, he realizes he can just, like, play with the projecting screen to fuck with Pete. So, like, that's what happened at the end of the movie. They're somebody just, like, flips this, like, it's still a screen, so somebody just, like, flips it. Wait a second. I can, like, make my own tornadoes.
That would have been great for a pre-short for Looney Tunes, but, again, I'm not smart enough to do that. One last thing I'll say is I like the fact that, again, this movie is, like, clearly more what I would say is like relatable to those that get impacted by tornadoes, because they had the corporate team that was being funded by this land grubber, this guy that just buys up a lot. They buy on the low like shitholes. They give them a shit offer, and they just take the land, and from that point they own the land, and that happens in real life. That's a serious issue where things get destroyed, you have pretty much no money, but hey, we'll give you money for this right now, but because everything's destroyed, we're going to give you a very low-ball offer, and good luck finding something in the future. And that's a serious issue in Tornado Alley, and I think it was great for them to mention that, and I just wish that it would have been more fun if we followed that tornado team, the Tornado Wrangler team, and then they were facing off against them like actual corporate assholes. I think that would have been a much more antagonistic and fun thing to do. Yeah. Where the guys that are clearly trying to buy their way into it and, money-wise are taking land and all that stuff, if it was just a full antagonistic force and, we didn't have to be sympathetic and, it's like, okay, whatever. Because, like, at the end, it's fucking hilarious how you have the chick or the woman, she's like, did we win or whatever, and you have the Tornado Wrangler guy and the corporate guy, and at the same time they're running at the same speed toward her like, we will help you, lady, we will save you, my lady, we are in your debt, my lady. Like, they're both like, we will protect you. Like, it's fucking hilarious. But again, I do think the airport sequence is funny. I just think, like, give him the kiss. There's no reason not to. Just give him the kiss. That would have been adorable.
Yeah. The movie didn't really break for me if they kissed or not. I thought, like,
It's just that they were leading to... It was like, alright, they've got chemistry, they've been working together, that sort of thing. It's very much like in the first movie, where it's like, alright, they got their groove back, and... They did something achievable.
I was glad by, like, the, what was it, like, 20 minutes into the movie, you kind of realize, like, the actual love interest is, like, the bull rider guy, because when the movie was starting, I thought, like, they were going to like pair up that first nerd, because he was just kind of stalked her in the beginning.
He wanted to be. Yeah. That's the whole thing, is he wanted to be, and no. I think what's funny is, like, if there's anything this year has taught men, it's like, just be the Wrangler guy, be the guy that's like in the Bike Riders. Who did the chick go after? She dropped the husband for the fucking bike rider guy. Badass bike rider. She stayed with him forever. And by the way, that was a girl that was very academic, very smart. She went with the bike rider guy. This movie, you got Twisters, same situation, has no interest whatsoever in the nerd. Now, I understand, the nerd was not that cool. But, and then you go off the Tornado Wrangler. Sorry to tell you, you just gotta be cool, all right?
Oh, he's a nerd on Tornado.
Apparently, that's the market, is you gotta be cool. So, you know, yeah. That's what 2024 movies are showing.
Chick magnet. Not like that guy.
What?
Not like that. Don't be like that guy, kids. Be like this.
Wait. What time is it? Oh shit, I've got to eat pussy in 30 minutes. Anyway, Mark, yeah, this was a good...
Oh, well, I gotta eat vagina. I don't know why you're eating cats. You freak!
Alright, so, final thoughts on Twisters, Mark?
This is a fun, solid movie. Great for the summer. Great with gimmicks. But, like, it's kind of... By the time I watch this, it's probably already out, like, not in theaters anymore, and the gimmicks are gone, but, like, it's just a fun watch. Twister is better, but it's a fun watch.
That's I think the big theme here is, like, if you're watching this at home, I think if you haven't seen it, check it out, but you're probably, if you're looking for a disaster movie, like, just go and watch the old Twister movie. Like, if you're looking for a popcorn flick, no contest, dude. That first movie is fucking crazy.
Great.
There's no contest. So
that climax is very underwhelming, because I was like that. It was the first movie had like a super fun climax, and like this movie, it was like she's just gonna stop the tornado, and she stopped the big tornado. No, like driving through like the fucking churches or barns or anything. Just
because like you had the town, and I was like, because like the lead up was what was interesting, because it's like, all right, can we get a trailer that's gonna do this and this? And this, and then like the guy was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Oh, because I wanted to get sucked up by the tornado, but not myself." And like they were building her with the team, and I was like, "Man, this is gonna be great. We're gonna get something very cool with the whole team." And she's there, you know what I mean? The Tornado Wrangler team and all that. And they were all together, and I was like, maybe there's gonna be something interesting here. And it just kind of.
I was anticipating that climax. I was like, I'm so ready. How are they gonna end this?
They just kind of turned into a generic like. Small town destruction schlock thing. And there's nothing wrong with seeing a water tower fall, but that was I think that might have been the most underwhelming water tower fall in any movie, because like usually it's like, here comes the water, and like there was a moment, but it was like, it was realistic water, because like they're not always filled, so it was realistic, so the water wasn't that much water, so you didn't get this funny awesome moment with a wave of water, you only got a little bit of it. But if this was the 90s, you would have gotten this, like, wall of fucking water. Would have been wild. You know what I mean? Like, they just played it too realistic. And I think if they just kind of let themselves a little more loose.
This should like, taken place inside the Warner Brothers studio a lot, and, like, the Warner Brothers water tower falls. And they're, like, running... Oh, dude, I'm just making up a new, like, ending sequence inside my head. Like, they're running through, like, the stages around the studio, and they're, like, running through sets of Batman and shit.
No.
I'm describing Looney Tunes back in action.
I was about to say, like, that's what I'm... yeah, no.
That's Looney Tunes back in action. You know, they fucking rip off Looney Tunes back in action. I don't care.
Yeah. But,
but like,
I was gonna say, that idea of the Warner Brothers, water tower falling could be a great idea for...
Andy Maniac shows up, we'll help.
It would be a great idea for San Andreas, too, with the Rock, because that, I think, is Warner Brothers, where you had California.
Fucking crossover, dude.
That's when California collapsed, if you remember. California.
It's like, that'll be the surprise plot twist cameo.
I don't need a crossover, but you could have two disasters.
Fuck it, that would have been awesome.
No.
They were like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson just like comes in surfing on a tornado.
No.
Yes, everyone's surfing on a tornado in my version of the movie. Just like, oh, I'm here to help.
He just punches it.
He punched the tornado and the tornado's like, whoa!
It reacts like a human, yeah.
And like it has like little arms like, oh.
And she's still sitting there with all her chemicals, like they didn't need it. And they just needed the Rock. That's all that was there.
He like grabs a bomb tornado like
yeah. But yeah, Ben, I think this was a fine time. I think it's a good tornado movie, based like a focused movie. Like it's a good. Again, it doesn't have to be 1-to-1. Amazon truck. It doesn't have to be 1-to-1.
Well, that's my trash bags coming in. No joke. I ordered trash bags.
You ordered trash bags?
Yeah, but I need a 42-gallon one. I ordered them from Walmart.
Why didn't you just go to the fucking Dollar General?
Because they don't have 42-gallon, motherfucker.
Why do you need 42 gallon?
For my giant fucking trash in the kitchen.
How? They don't have 42-gallon.
They don't have 42-gallon. They have 30-gallon. They have up to 30-gallon.
Oh.
Regular retail stores just have up to
Wait a minute, but you live,
or
you just take the 78 down to a fucking Lowe's or whatever.
See, they're knocking on the door right now. That's trash. That's my trash bags.
All right, do you want to grab them, or do you want to just wrap
After
them?
this recording, nobody's gonna steal. Well, nobody should be stealing trash bags.
That'd be lame. But,
all right.
Yeah, so this is. I didn't need it to be 1-to-1, but there were many moments where they were clearly trying to line it up. Like, again, the biggest thing about this movie is they just take the antagonist of the first movie and they just kind of flip it on its head. And it's like, now you're following them, and if we're going to play it like that, then you're kind of getting pretty close to a 1-to-1. And when you play that close to a 1-to-1, that's where you're going to get more comparisons. If they played it more at a distance, then you aren't going to get those comparisons.
Well, I mean, it's already a name, so like, I'm going to compare it anyway.
Thanks, Mark. I was just using that as an example, but yes, you're right. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So, a third twist, I don't know if that's going to happen. A third Twisters is financially, will not make it out well with Deadpool just slaughtering theaters. But, a third...
San Andreas Twisters.
Well, a third Twister movie...
Twister on San Andreas.
Yes, but, so, what was the one... Yeah, this was a great Dodge Ram commercial. It also is crazy that they had last-gen vehicles and vehicles that no longer exist. So they're advertising vehicles that no longer exist in their movie, and like...
discovering something that doesn't exist.
Yeah, so great job, Dodge.
So before we're closing, I'm going to say these movies have some good tornado sequences, but neither of them have anything on the best tornado sequence in all of cinema.
The Wizard of Oz? That's all you're about to say?
No.
The Wizard
of Oz, a short sequence.
Wizard of Oz is like...
I'd say one of the most iconic.
It is a special effect. It is still, if you look at it for the time, one of the most impressive special effects in the history of cinema.
Yeah, it's iconic, but it's not the best.
I'd love to see what the fuck the best is for you. What is
okay, That's fucking best tornado sequence in all of cinema.
I've watched a lot of special effects movies, so tell me what the best is.
You ready? The best tornado sequence in all of cinema.
Is it the day after tomorrow when you had those...
Are you going to keep guessing before I give the answer? Alright, fine, guess.
That's it. That's all I had.
Okay, no. No, it's not. I don't even seen that movie.
It's great.
It's the best tornado...
What was what?
I thought I heard somebody yelling.
No.
Alright, cut that part out. The best tornado sequence in all of cinema is the spaghetti tornado sequence in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where he fucking goes inside a spaghetti tornado and he starts fucking climbing down the fucking play set, goes down the slide, and he smoothly goes down that tornado and he ends up with the fucking ladder and he just lands and That sequence was so fucking awesome.
Are you done?
Don't you fucking tell me that sequence wasn't fucking awesome.
It was cool. It wasn't awesome. It was fine.
No, that was great. You're lying. You just want to downplay.
No,
like no, you're holding back.
These are two out.
You don't want me to be right.
These are
but
two.
You know I am.
These are two deeply.
You're salty.
Scenarios. That's like comparing the Twister from the Little Short when you had the Tasmanian devil just fucking spinning around and like, that's the best.
They should have used a different Tasmanian devil cartoon. There's better ones where he does like better spins. Or the whole Tasmania cartoon. Welcome to Tasmania. Come to Tasmania. But like that fucking Clyde with a Chance of Meatball, they should have ripped off that sequence. They should have like. At the end, that would make fucking Twisters 10 out of 10 for me. Just like go inside a tornado. She's like fucking like walking downstairs, going down the slides. She like go to like a fucking McDonald's place gets caught in the tornado like whee, just like and she just like lands like oh shit.
That's a great idea, Mark.
Thank you. All right, Jesus fucking Christ! Finally, you go to this.
No, I said it was a great idea. I didn't say it was the best thing ever made. I said it was a great idea. Like the concept by Phil Lord and Chris Miller was a great idea.
Yeah, you didn't say it, but you meant it.
Meant what?
It's the best idea ever made. You didn't say it, but you meant it.
No, that goes to the Double Decker Couch, the other Phil Lord and Chris Miller movie.
No, that's. I've seen what that looks like in real life at a furniture store, and it looks fucking dangerous.
It is. Your feet, your shoes.
I would have a lot of fun on the upper decker couch. I would be scared for my life on the bottom decker couch.
Well, anyone that's above the weight limitations, you're kind of like.
I don't want to see the legs dangling.
Well, the legs would be in the view of the TV, so you'd be.
Yeah. Also, what if some people like fucking kick like?
Yeah, like they just react too strongly, and then you're screwed. Yeah. All right, ScreenBlast Podcast, guys. Go to ScreenBlastPodcast.com. Go to ScreenBlast Society on YouTube, guys. We appreciate you for watching, of course. If you want more, go. Well, I already said where to go. You can find Mark. Where can they find you?
K9 Business is K9BISKUTS.com, where you can find more spaghetti tornadoes.
And of course,
where you climb down play places.
And you can find me, of course, at Bryan the Ball.
There's no spaghetti tornadoes over there. It's a fucking ghost fest.
Where you go to At Democracy, where you can find literally
get
over
fucking uncooked
videos.
Noodles.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Logging out, everybody!